Welcome to Seawaywhiskywire. Tonight on the bar, we've got the Ezra Brooks 99 Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. Stay tuned. Well, hey guys, thanks for coming back after the intro. I'm Tyler, and like I said, tonight on the bar, we've got the Ezra Brooks 99 Proof Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. And this particular whiskey comes in from the folks over at Lux Row, and they were nice enough to send me a bottle for review, so thank you very much, folks at Lux Row, for sending this over. Thank you, Jennifer. And we're going to get into the specs and overview of the bottle in a minute here, but before we do that, if you get yourself something from Ezra Brooks, you get yourself something from Lux Row, you get yourself a bourbon, you want to pour yourself a dram and drink along with me, please do so. I encourage it. It makes life a heck of a lot better for you guys on the other end, and I enjoy you guys drinking along with me. So what can I tell you about the Ezra Brooks brand? Well, the brand was established in the 1950s, and it was during a period which marked a resurgence in popularity for bourbon whiskey in the United States. And it's named after the fictional character Ezra Brooks. And the brand is aimed to invoke a sense of tradition, authenticity, positioning itself alongside other names in the bourbon industry. So initially, Ezra Brooks was produced by the Medley Distillery in Owensboro, Kentucky. And from its inception, it was marketed as a high-quality yet affordable bourbon whiskey. And the brand has gained a loyal following thanks to its smooth taste and distinctive charcoal mellowing process it underwent, similar to that used in some more famous whiskeys and their competitors. And over the years, Ezra Brooks as a brand has changed hands several times. In the 1970s, it was acquired by David Sherman Corporation, which later became Luxco. And this acquisition helped the brand expand its reach and continued legacy. Under the Lux Row stewardship, Ezra Brooks has maintained its reputation for high quality and affordable, solidifying its place in the bourbon market. And today, Ezra Brooks is recognized for its commitment to tradition, bourbon making methods, and its distinctive full-bodied flavor, and continues to be a favorite among bourbon enthusiasts and remains a testament to the enduring appeal of Kentucky bourbon whiskey. And you know, guys, we're going to dig into it now and put that to the test and see how it fares up against my palate. So let's get into the overview on the Ezra Brooks 99 Proof Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. Well, obviously enough, as the name states, 99 proof it comes in at, which is 49.5% ABV. It's aged in charred oak American casks and is charcoal filtered for extra smoothness. And the mash bill comes in at 78% corn, 10% rye, and 12% barley. And, you know, with that, we'll get into the presentation of the bottle. It's a classic bottle. I mean, I dig the label. I think it looks pretty nice and has that really classic look to it. But I mean, that's all it's really got going for it. And I'm a little saddened by the fact that there's not a whole lot of information on this. I always like to read a little bit about the distillery or the history of the brand on the labels, and I wish some more companies would do that. And it seems to be maybe more systemic in the bourbon market, but more so than the Scotch market, whether that's because of the history behind it or not. But there is history to be shared, and I wish they would do that on here. You know, they don't even give really too much about the flavor notes or anything like that. It's just, you know, they use the old-fashioned way, new charred oak American barrels. Ezra Brooks then is charcoal filtered for an unmistakable and unforgettable mellow flavor. On the other side here, genuine sour mash bourbon using finest ingredients, but doesn't really give a whole lot on there. There's a little Surgeon General's warning on the back here. I just wish, you know, some of these distilleries would take some time and put some more effort into the overview of the presentation and on the labels and whatnot. Unlike the Yellowstone, I will report it has a good cork. I am a fan of this cork for sure. So let's get into the pour on the Ezra Brooks 99 Proof Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey and take a look at the color of the liquid in the bottle. All right, we're going there nice and close, but it's a, you know, obviously it's a nice bourbon color here. We've got more of a lighter golden amber color, in my opinion, for this, and you know, it's bourbon, and you know, this is our entry level into the Ezra Brooks lineup, and you know, I wouldn't really expect anything more or less as far as color there. Again, that light golden amber color. All right, let's get into the nose and see what the Ezra Brooks 99 Proof offers on the nose. So let's dig into it. So first off, I'm getting a little bit of ethanol, a little bit of that alcohol prickle in the nose there. It's right at the front, and it's a little bit off-putting for me. Definitely shows that it's not overly aged, for sure. I'm getting some vanilla on there as well. Some caramel notes. almost like a caramel cream, you know, heavy cream. And then there's a bit of toasted peanuts or toasted nuts on the back of the nose there. Yeah. All right. Well, that's for the nose. Let's get into the palate on the Ezra Brooks 99 and see what we can get out of that. So, cheers to your health, and let's dive into it. Not a whole lot going on the palate. It's a bit spicy, a bit peppery, a bit angry, fierce, if I can say that. Kind of like a young Scotch, very aggressive, very agitated on the palate. First off, on the palate, I'm getting some vanilla and some cream on there, and it's a very sweet vanilla with that kind of heavy cream mouthfeel to it, and really gets you salivating. I'm into those caramel and those like cinnamon notes as well. The vanilla, cream, and caramel are very quick to vanish into that spice. And from the spice, I'm getting some black pepper on there. Vanilla, cream, caramel, black pepper, and cinnamon, and the oak hug is right in there. And then on the end, it's back to the same as the nose with this toasted peanut kind of piece to it. Not salted toasted nuts or anything like that, like cocktail nuts, but like just if you bought like dried roasted peanuts. Yeah. Okay. Interesting palate. Let's get into the finish on Ezra Brooks 99 and see what we think about this on the finish. One more sip. Okay, so if you can't already tell, I'm not overly a fan of this particular bourbon. The finish is medium to short, and what hangs on is kind of, again, it's this roasted peanut piece, but you really get this kind of like this ethanol kind of character to it. And I've gone through this a little bit, made some cocktails with it to try it out and see how it works with some cocktails as well as having it neat. I'm getting kind of very little sweet and caramel notes at the beginning, and then it kind of goes into this spice bomb and this big oak hug, and then finishes off with this black pepper roasted peanuts kind of piece. Not nearly as smooth as, you know, they stay on the bottle, I would say. It's not the smoothest bourbon I've ever had, and you know, that's okay for an entry level. Makes a good old fashioned. I think it'd be great in some other cocktails. I only tried it in an old fashioned once, but it was very good in the old fashioned. But again, neat, and bringing out that profile. It's very much a very one-dimensional bourbon, if I can say that. You know, yeah, it's got the sweet and the and the oak and the spice, but I mean that's kind of every bourbon, and it's not very transformational. It's very short. It's very, very short at the beginning, and concentration in the long, or in the middle, and then at the end it kind of lingers a little bit, but not nearly as long as the middle. But again, all that put together, it's still very short, and you know, short to medium finish. But you know what, being an entry level, you know, sometimes it can capitalize on that with the value piece. So we'll hop over into the value proposition on the Ezra Brooks 99. This particular bottle I can pick up at the LCBO for $45 Canadian. At that, you know, this is not my favorite Lux Row product, Luxco product. I really prefer the Yellowstone that I've had. The Yellowstone is, you know, in my opinion, a much better product, much more flavorful product, and much more transformational product, even at their entry level. It does carry a higher price tag, obviously, but I do think it's a much better product. Optional wise, you know, at $45, I would recommend, you know, I'd recommend something like a Buffalo Trace. I think you can't go wrong with Buffalo Trace. It's $45 too, and a much nicer profile, and not as much high of an ABV, but I mean, it definitely has a much nicer flavor profile. I also recommend a Maker's Mark if you were looking to spend around $45 on a bourbon. In my opinion, unless you're just buying this for the 49% ABV, 49.5% ABV, or 99 proof piece, I'd probably skip this one. And I would again recommend, if you're going to try something in the Lux Row catalog, you go for that Yellowstone Select, the Yellowstone 93 Select. And with that, I'll wrap up my review of the Ezra Brooks 99 Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. So hopefully you like that review. Definitely not one of my normally upbeat and positive reviews for one of the whiskeys, but you know what? They can't all be winners, and that's all right. And if these flavor profiles do appeal to you, then by all means go out and buy it. It would be a nice bottle for you. And if you like what we're doing over here at Seaway Whiskey Wire, you guys know that drill. Like and subscribe down below. And hey, don't forget to check me out on Instagram at Seaway Whiskey Wire. And if you guys have hung around this long till the end of it, I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you for watching this far in. Great little gig for me. I really enjoy it. I get to come down to the basement and have a dram and talk about whiskey on, depending on if it's a weekend or a weekday. And you know what? Regardless of what the weather's like outside, it always brightens my day to be down here. So I'll leave you with that. Cheers to your health. Take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now, guys.